Where was God when Jesus died on the cross? Have you ever asked yourself that? Because if he really is a father, he should have been there when his son was dying. And even when we read in the gospel, when it says that that the Father sent him to give his life for us to save us, what father in a sane mind sends his son to die for others? No father does that. Unless that father knows that Christ is dying, but in order to bring new life to all of his sons. So where was God? The first thing we're going to do is see what the gospel actually says about that. Where was he? We're going to see what that actually means for my life. And then we're going to look at another text that is included in the gospel, but not explicitly. And you might not have ever heard this before. And then from there, we're going to finally answer our question with all of this background. So where was God actually when Jesus died? So the first thing is looking at the gospel passage and saying, what does it say? What did Jesus say? Where was the Father? And if you go there, you're going to see that Jesus, right before he dies, says some really startling words. He says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Can you imagine what he's saying? He's not saying, thank you, Father, for accompanying me in these moments of suffering. He's saying, you have left me. You're not here. Probably the majority of you who are watching this video have at some point in life, if you have at least a minimum prayer life, or if you've ever suffered at least a little bit, you've had the experience of saying, I don't know where God is. Where is he when I most need him? So you're saying together with Christ, my God, where are you? We've all felt that, and it feels like he's not there. But here's where we go into the unspoken words of the gospel. What the Jews who are at that moment there listening to Christ heard was the beginning of a psalm. And they recognized that psalm because the psalm begins expressing, my God, why have you forsaken me? But then it continues to be a prayer of absolute trust in God, saying, I know that you're always with me. Anything I'm living, any degree of suffering, you're here with me. So what really that gospel text is saying, even though it doesn't put the entire psalm there, Christ just says the beginning words, because that's how the Jews would refer to a text. They would refer to the first few words, and then from there, everybody else knew what came afterwards. So Christ, when he's there on the cross, he's not actually saying that the Father has abandoned him, but he's saying that he trusts in the Father, knows that the Father's there, which is a key lesson for our life because it shows us that many times we can feel that God left us, and that feeling is real. We feel that God's not there. We feel like we're alone. But then he's also saying, you don't feel it, but your faith is here, and you can stand on that faith. You can stand on your faith because I am here. It's like a promise that God makes to us on the cross, saying, even in your worst moments, I will always be there with you, even if you don't feel it. And so that leads us back to our initial question. So where was God the Father when Jesus died on the cross? And the answer is very simple, because he was right there with Jesus in his greatest moment of suffering. And that's what he's showing us for you and I as well. In our most difficult moments, whether we feel it or not, he's there with us. And it's crazy if we think about it to say, why is God with me always? Why does he do that? What does he care? And the answer doesn't even make sense. But the answer is very simple, because at the end of the day, the only answer is that God is crazy in love with every single one of us.